Andy, you are, our VIP guest this
I don't know
afternoon.
about that, but I appreciate the nice words.
And we know that yesterday we started to celebrate our decennial. So we have been scheduling 15 minutes Zoom meetings with people who has been, who have been during the last 10 years very important, critical, for the development of our business, and not only for Silvia Mariani, but for all the Making Business Happen team. So this afternoon, we have Camilla Fondelli. Maybe you met her here in Florence during your holidays in Florence, and we have Sara, our new entry.
Hello,
Sara,
nice to meet you.
Yes, Camila, I know very well. Sarah, it's a pleasure to meet you.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, so the topic of our Zoom meeting and of our meet and greet this afternoon with you is: what is the importance of an international partnership to develop business? What do you think? Because to me, for example, our partnership and friendship has been a pillar of the success of Making Business Happen. And of course, I have the honor and pleasure to cohabit in our office in Hollywood. So this has meant a lot for me personally and for Making Business Happen, as a business. But what do you think? In your 30 years long experience?
I'm sorry, the sound was breaking up a little bit. So the crux of the question, what do I think of?
The importance of partnership.
Oh, okay.
Make business happen.
Partnerships are critical locally, nationally, and internationally. Even on a local stage here, it's because of the relationships we have that we continue to grow. Even during the pandemic of this year, we had the exact same billing we had the year prior. Profits were down because of other issues, but as far as the actual business that we had, it was the exact same, which is amazing, but it's all about relationships. So when we bring that to the international stage, it makes it even more important because, you don't have the relationships here that we have, but we also don't have the knowledge and expertise that you have. So when you marry the two, it's the only way for business to really grow and develop. And to have the relationship, you and I have a wonderful relationship, which allows us to begin making introductions, which hopefully work. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But without the relationship that you and I have, those introductions would never happen. So as I tell everybody here in the office, it's all about relationships. If you like to work with somebody, you're going to recommend them. They may not be the best. In your case, you are the best. But if you're not the best, but people really enjoy working with you, they're going to work with you. So for Making Business Happen, coming back to the United States, because you did have a good presence prior to the recession. You were very successful prior to the recession. It's a question of reestablishing relationships. And you began to do that prior to the pandemic. You had been here often. People were getting to know you. You were getting banking relationships here. So you were beginning that effort. Then, of course, the pandemic came and nobody can go anywhere right now. So it was almost a year that made it impossible to continue relationships. But I do think, I'm hopeful anyway, by, let's say, summertime, we're going to begin seeing some normality in the world. We'll be able to travel back and forth again. And it's probably a great idea to begin reaching out to reestablish some relationships and look where we can establish new relationships. Now would be the time, knowing 3, 4 months, 5 months from now, travel will really begin to pick back up again. So if you don't have relationships, you don't have business. I don't care how good you are, unless maybe you're Steve Jobs and brilliant, but if you don't have the relationships, you're not going to have the business. And I don't care, say how good your product is.
Thank you, Andy. Sarah, do you have any question for our very special guest, Mr. Andy Witkin, from your side?
Yes. Another question is why to invest in Miami in 2021 and right in the middle of a pandemic?
Very good question. We're very lucky here in Miami. Miami has weathered the recession probably better than most cities have. Not every sector though. Obviously the hospitality sector has taken a huge hit. You can buy a hotel for 10 cents on the dollar right now. So that's not where you invest. The industrial market is going off the charts right now. And the single family residential market is stronger than I think it's ever been. Because everybody from the Northeast and other parts of the country want to be in Miami, mostly because of the climate. That's a huge idea. People want to be outdoors now. They don't want to be indoors because of the virus. So where can you be outdoors more than any other place in the country? Miami. So we are seeing so many developers moving forward with projects. And some of these projects they know are not going to be in the ground for 2 years. You know, if you're going to do, let's say, a new 8, 9, 10-story residential building, from the time you begin it to the time you actually can lease apartments and people move in, it's a good 2 years. And people know in 2 years, the world's going to be very different. So the market is still going very strong in the residential. Single family homes, our biggest client, Lennar, they are buying up every piece of property they can find right now because people want single family homes. And in the industrial market, because so many people are doing e-commerce, Amazon is buying every industrial parcel that's available in Miami because Miami is the gateway to South America. So all of Amazon's commerce really runs through Miami one way or another, going down to South America. So it's a huge market, but to invest in hospitality and food and beverage in those areas, you know, people are still very reluctant, but the other sectors are still very strong. Our unemployment here, probably it's about 7%, which is the national average. Right now, you know, back in a year ago, national average was around 3.5% unemployment. Miami is only 1.5% unemployment because January, February, that's the best months for tourism. So we were even below the national average. Right now, our unemployment in Miami is right about 7%, which is basically exactly the national average. I mean, during the worst times, May, June, we were up at 15% unemployment, but it is slowly coming back again. We're seeing restaurants beginning to open up. Miami is unusual. I'm going to try to be politically diplomatic about this if I can. You know, we have a governor who has basically disregarded every rule in the book, same as our past president did. And because of that, he just opened up everything way too early. And by doing that, it did increase some of the jobs in the hospitality sector, the restaurant sector, but it also skyrocketed the COVID number of cases. I mean, we're probably number 3 or 4 in the country as COVID number of cases, but yet we're probably lower in unemployment. So there's this bridge there, and you'll get views on both sides. You'll get some people saying, well, the economy needs to pick up. And you get the other people who I think are a little more intelligent saying, well, if we don't get COVID under control, you'll never pick up the economy. we had a governor who basically decided he was going to do what he wanted to do and just open everything up right away and way too fast. So I believe in our restaurants here are busier than they are around the rest of the country. But then COVID cases are busier here than they are around the rest of the country. So it's, a mixed bag. Like I said, without trying to get into too much on the political end of it. But Miami is, even before the pandemic, Miami was one of the top 5 places to invest in the country. And you had New York, Los Angeles, Miami, some parts of Texas. They were the top areas, to invest. People don't want to invest in New York right now. People don't want to invest in Los Angeles right now. They are just COVID hotspots. So they're putting their money in Miami. So right now, Miami is a great place to put your money, if it's the right sector and the right market.
Thanks a lot.
And Camila, do you have any question?
Yes, of course.
Please.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Camila. Nice to see you again.
My question is, if nowadays you consider design thinking approach to project management as an important aspect of doing business.
I'm getting a big echo back, Camila.
Okay, I repeat. My question is,
Much better.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Perfect.
Okay. My question is, if nowadays, especially nowadays, you consider the design thinking approach to project management and problem solving as an important aspect of doing business and as an asset of competitiveness in the global market?
I'm not sure what you mean by design thinking. Maybe you can explain that to me a little bit.
Yes, this design thinking is a sort of creative approach to solve problem, to create new idea, to develop new idea, to make business.
Okay. No question about it. We became more aware of that during the recession, 2009, 2010. We had to try and reinvent ourselves a little bit. We couldn't do business the same way as we had done for the past 15 years. So we had to begin getting creative, thinking out of the box. How do we change our business approach and our business model? And no question, with the pandemic, people have to change how they do business. There is no question about it. And I think each sector is going to have to find their own way. And, you see things coming online that you never saw before, different products that people are coming up with, different ways of purchasing, different ways of selling things. It's tremendous, but absolutely, if there isn't design thinking, your traditional business is not going to be able to sustain, and you just need to begin thinking out of the box. No question about it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Andy. I have the very last questions because we know that you are so busy, so we do not want to abuse your time. Okay, so what do you think? As you have been knowing Sylvia Mariani and making business happen for many years now, so do you have any suggestions to how to approach to clients and market? Starting from your personal point of view, but even, looking at Florence, Italy as a different way of doing business, because culture matters in these kind of things.
On that one, I wish I had a crystal ball and be able to give you some answers, but I'm not sure. And I'll be perfectly honest. I don't want to throw something out just to make myself try and sound intelligent when I really don't have the answers on that. I think making business happen has to begin trying to reinvent itself a little bit, because I don't believe you can continue to do business as you always did and be successful. You've got to begin, as Camila said, design thinking. You're going to have to really begin doing some design thinking. How can making business happen modify what they've been doing. You bring tremendous expertise, no question back. But the world is changing. So how does making business happen change in order to, be successful and continue to grow? I don't have those answers. I'd love to work, I'd love to have further discussions on it, think more about it, which I'd like very much to do, but I don't have any answers today, I'll tell you that. But I would like to be part of the solution.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for your time. We look forward, to welcoming you in Florence and to have the opportunity, to celebrate our decennial together in presence. We miss you very much. We miss our office in Hollywood very, very, very much. And so I do think that this partnership will be one of the main pillars of our future as it has been in the last 10 years. Thank you, Andy.
We're doing our last construction this weekend and expanding into Judy's old office. So we actually have a place for making business happen now that we have more room. And the sign is out there, so we are waiting for you. I also, keeping my fingers crossed, we have our reservation for May 17th to be in Italy for 7 weeks. So we are very optimistic. We're supposed to get our second vaccine shot next week. Hopefully the supply stays, but we're optimistic that 2021 is going to be a good year. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to be a really good year.
Grazie. We can't wait. We can't wait. Thank you, Andy. And maybe we keep on, keeping in touch. I'll call you personally and privately on WhatsApp. And do you authorize us to use your, personal data to be published on our website and YouTube channel?
I'm sorry, again, there's a little feedback, so.
Okay, I was just asking you.
Okay.
If you allow us, you permit us to publish this interview
absolutely.
On our YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Andy. Ciao. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Have a great day.